Live from Waterford and the Virgin Media Broadband Studio in Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Eimear McKeown. Today's top stories. The Finance Minister says there will be absolutely no surprises in the budget. 4 Gardaí injured while on duty in Waterford City this morning. Waterford-based customer service provider Eimear has been bought for an undisclosed sum. And in sport, Waterford FC returned to home soil this evening in the Airtricity League Premier Division. Paschal Donohoe has said there's no surprises in the budget he's just about to announce. The Finance Minister says it's a prudent budget with Brexit on the horizon. Our political correspondent Sean Defoe has been examining what it means for your pocket.
So will you be better off in an hour's time than you are now? Unfortunately, for most people, the answer is probably not. This budget is all about Brexit, with really only the most vulnerable benefiting. There's no big tax cuts, no across-the-board social welfare increases either. Carbon tax is going up, meaning filling your car with diesel and petrol will cost about €1 to €1.50 more after midnight. Coal briquettes and home heating oil will also be more expensive. Cigarettes are going up 50 cent a pack, and commercial stamp duty is going up by 1.5%. Some of the benefits expected: more money for childcare, 56,000 new medical cards for over 70s, free GP care for the under 8s, and free dental for under 6s. More home help hours too, and another record budget for health. The Help to Buy scheme is also being retained, and there will be a fund of about €1 billion to protect farmers, businesses and tourism from the risks of Brexit. All that and more to be announced in the next hour in the Dáil Chamber as Paschal Donohoe takes to his feet.
Jim McLean, Tax Director at PwC in Waterford, says this is a budget with Brexit in mind.
The big ticket issue is going to be the carbon taxes, and we don't yet know how much that's going to put in terms of the price of petrol and diesel at the pumps, or more to the point, what it's going to mean in terms of a bag of coal or home heating oil. The one thing I'd say to people is this budget is happening at a time when the economy is doing well. You normally expect to see tax reductions, money spent on healthcare, health services, education. We're not seeing any of that. That's the first real concrete signs of the impact of Brexit.
He says normally at this time near an election there would be tax cuts.
With an election around the corner, this is the time when you would see big changes in personal tax, putting money back into people's pockets. To some extent, there's credit to the Minister that he hasn't done that. He's looking at Brexit, he's looking at the potential impact around the corner and saying, no, we can't afford to do that, we're not doing it, election or no election.
Jim McLean will be providing budget analysis here on WLR News throughout the afternoon. 4 Gardaí were injured while on duty in Waterford City in the early hours of this morning. They were called to a public order disturbance in the Bridge Street area of the city at 6:30am. The 4 Gardaí were bitten in the arms, kicked and were threatened as they tried to arrest a man. A 33-year-old man was arrested at the scene and remains in custody at Waterford Garda Station. All 4 Gardaí, 3 males and 1 female, attended University Hospital Waterford for treatment and have since been released. Gardaí are appealing for witnesses to this morning's incident to contact them on 051 305 300. They're interested in events both prior to and after the Gardaí arrived. A Sinn Féin councillor is calling for a task force to be set up to tackle unemployment in Waterford City. The unemployment level is 5.3% nationally. However, it's as high as 30% in parts of the city. John Hearn says action is needed.
In some of the areas I represent, it's between 20 and 30% unemployment, which is still absolutely scandalous. And this is before we start to face into recessions, they said. So not only did we not get anything from any upturn, but they haven't even addressed the core issue of unemployment in these areas. What I propose to do as Sinn Féin councillor is to put down a motion at the council that we get all the agencies together and have a task force.
Waterford company Eimear has been acquired by Indian company Infosys BPM. The customer service provider, which employs 1,400 people, is headquartered in Waterford and has offices in Wexford and Clonmel. Staff were informed of the move yesterday. In a statement, Eimear said the merger would provide an opportunity for growth. The family of a jockey who died following a fall at a Waterford racetrack says an apology from the HSE gives them a sense of closure. Jack Tyner died of serious head injuries after a race in Dungarvan in 2011. The HSE acknowledged that his care in hospital fell below expected standards and it's apologised to the Tyner family. Jack's mother Mary has welcomed yesterday's apology and undisclosed settlement, but says the delay was unnecessary.
Well, it's kind of reliving it all again at the moment, but it is, I suppose we got answers. It's not going to make any highly difference, but we got answers, and, it just took a long time to get the answers, which there was no need for it. They didn't have to put us through everything, but that seems to be what they do.
A Tramore-based councillor has called for the Grand Hotel to be demolished and for the area to be transformed into a public space. The hotel has lain vacant since 2014 and the matter is now due before Waterford District Court after the owners failed to comply with a derelict sites notice which was served last year. Independent councillor Joe Conway says the problem needs to be dealt with once and for all to give Tramore a chance to progress.
I know there are court proceedings, but the evidence that we have in relation to the owner of this hotel and the way he deals with other derelict sites around the country, and there's a long list of them, I believe. I wouldn't hold out too much hope that we'll get too much of a result out of it. So I think rather than having this fester in the middle of the town for another God knows how long, that we really should factor something into the 2020 budget to CPO this place, and maybe a couple of other derelictions around Tramore as well.
University Hospital Waterford is one of the worst hit hospitals today for patients on trolleys. According to the Irish Nurses and Midwives Organisation, 501 admitted patients are waiting for beds in the country's hospitals. University Hospital Limerick is the worst hit with 71 patients on trolleys, followed by South Tipperary General Hospital with 35. 34 patients are waiting for a bed in University Hospital Waterford. The Health and Safety Authority has begun a series of unannounced inspections at ports around Ireland. It's after 5 workplace deaths since the start of the year. 2 men in their 20s died in incidents in May at the port of Waterford and Rosslare, while there were 3 deaths since January at Dublin Port. The Irish Times reports that the inspection blitz at ports and docks is directly connected to the number of fatalities over the past 2 years and is expected to last around 2 weeks. A Waterford restaurant has retained its Michelin star for the 11th year in a row. The house restaurant at the Cliff House Hotel in Ardmore was given the accolade at the launch of the 2020 guide in London. 7 new Michelin stars were awarded to Irish restaurants. Speaking to Damien Tiernan on Daysha Today, General Manager of the Cliff House Hotel, Patrick Shields, says they're thrilled.
We've up to 20 chefs in the kitchen. We've many countries represented. There's a tremendous commitment required and huge hard work. So we've been awarded again. That's 11 years now in a row, which is tremendous.
He says using local producers is vital.
We have our own kitchen garden with polytunnels. We engage with St. Raphael's Centre in Youghal as well, which is a home for people with special needs, and they grow veg for us locally, which is used in our restaurant. There's a huge amount of local producers that engage with us from Lismore and locally and surrounding areas. And that's hugely important because for Martin, it's a contemporary take on traditional Irish food, really combining, excellent presentation with his own innovation style and balance, and it has really worked for us.
WLR Sport.
Waterford FC returned to home soil this evening in the Air Tristee League Premier Division. The Blues welcome Sligo Rovers to the RSC for their rescheduled clash. Waterford secure their top flight status for next season by virtue of Friday's impressive 2-0 win away to St Pat's, thanks to a double from Michael O'Connor. Blues manager Alan Reynolds was thrilled with Friday's win and maintaining top flight football for 2020.
Yeah, look, I'm delighted. Look, it's been such a difficult time and at times really challenging. And to be fair to the owner, he could have sacked me at any stage as well. There was stages where we having poor results and he stuck with me. But it's a real learning curve and I'll be better from it.
Kick-off is at 7:45pm and Matt Keane will have updates across the evening here on WLR. Now to Gaelic Games, Ballygunner are chasing an unprecedented 6 in a row next weekend. The Gunners lock horns with Eastern rivals De La Salle in Sunday's much anticipated county senior hurling final. Ballygunner have had another impressive march to the decider and the Munster champions are deserving favourites, according to former Daysha hurler Brian Flannery.
They're favourites. They'll expect to win, and form shown to date with both clubs, you'd have to expect that Ballygunner would come through that. I don't expect that there'll be 12 points or 15 points or that in it. It should be a lot closer.
Fergal Hartley, who led the Gunners to county and provincial glory last season, says there's great drive and desire in the Ballygunner camp.
Yeah, and that's the most amazing thing, I suppose, is that they come back year after year and match after match, and they're prepared to go 100%, put their body in line every day. And huge amount for that me comes down to leadership on the field of the likes of the two Mannies and Shane O'Sullivan and so on. And these are the drivers of that group, and they set their standards so high that they don't accept anything less. And that really for me is the key to it.
Throw-in in Walsh Park is at 3 p.m. WLR will broadcast the game live thanks to George Corbett Skoda with commentary team Kieran O'Connor and Shane Ahern. Kilkenny boss Brian Cody has confirmed that Michael Dempsey has stepped away from his management team after 15 years. Leishman Dempsey joined the Cats setup as physical trainer ahead of the 2005 season and was involved in 8 All-Ireland victories. Cody says Dempsey brought a huge knowledge and he couldn't speak highly enough of him. Legendary former forward DJ Carey is expected to now join Kilkenny's backroom team as a selector. Finally, to show jumping, Colligan native Peter Maloney is hoping he can be part of the Irish team at next year's Olympic Games in Tokyo. The Waterford man helped Ireland secure qualification and to win the Nations Cup in Barcelona over the weekend. Peter outlined to WLR Sport what it will take to make the team for Tokyo.
Oh, without doubt. A year is a long time in horses. I guess Ireland have qualified as a team. The team has qualified, but it's not necessarily the same 5 guys that will go to the Europeans next year. Ireland have a team spot, but you still have to produce good results for the next year to try and have your place in Tokyo. There's a lot can happen in horses in that amount of time. So all about keeping the horse right and keeping them sound and just making a strong plan and try and get the best results you can to get picked.
That's the latest on WLR. Our next bulletin is at 2.